Samsung Galaxy S10 versus OnePlus 7 Pro. That video is coming up right now. Let's go. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Samsung Galaxy S10 versus OnePlus 7 Pro. Let's compare these things. The reason this comparison even existed was because I had a few comments of people saying they're having a hard time deciding between this one and this one. Also, if you think about it, the best Galaxy S10 you can get for around the price of the 12GB of RAM OnePlus 7 Pro is going to be just the regular S10 at $799. I'm seeing it for. This goes for $750, so they're $50 within each other. So I'm sure if you can buy a 7 Pro, you could probably buy a Galaxy S10. So let's compare them by beginning with the body. Now the body on the Galaxy S10 right here has been one of my favorite of the year, mostly because of its ergonomics and lightweight. Now it's pretty light. It also has a pretty much all screen display with a cutout, but it's very light in terms of 157 grams. So this thing's a featherweight, but also feels premium and very thin in the hand. So this one's kind of an easy decision. When it comes to the body, if you're looking for premium, they both give you that, but the Galaxy S10 gives you the lighter feel, whereas the OnePlus 7 Pro dominates the front screen with an all-screen design. It's got that substantial, weightier feel to it. So if you like a bigger phone for the money, you get a much larger device in the OnePlus 7 Pro. For me, I feel like the Samsung Galaxy S10 feels a lot more comfortable to use, and I would pick that if you care about comfort, but I would pick the OnePlus 7 Pro if you're looking for the best and most screen you can get for around the $750 to $800 price point. So when talking about display, one of the most important parts of this comparison, this is not as easy as, oh, the OnePlus 7 Pro, same price or a little bit cheaper actually, and a much better display because it's just way bigger. It's not just because it's bigger, but the OnePlus 7 Pro does have some tricks up its sleeve. Funny thing is, they're both made by Samsung, so the next Samsung phone will probably have 90 Hz as well. Very smooth on this 90 Hz display, and it really sets it apart as feeling a lot different than other phones you've used in the past. However, this display comes with a trade-off in that it does have a very, heavy feel to it, and it's a very big phone, so you don't get that light ergonomic feel. So that is still a strength for the S10, but still, I mean, for the money, you're getting much more display. So if you believe in the mantra, bigger is better, you'll love this phone a little bit more. Now, I do like the screen calibration modes in here. There's a little bit more you can tweak here on this display than on over here on the Galaxy S10. You could do an AMOLED wide gamut, sRGB, display P3, natural, and vivid. There's just more modes to tweak on this panel. Now you can also switch this thing down into full HD and still use the 90 Hz even in full HD to save some battery life. So overall, I really like it. What I really love about this phone though, it's just watching a YouTube video. It's just a lot better to watch a YouTube video without any interruptions. So let's go to play, and you could see there I am, and I'm gonna go and pull it out, and you could see just no interruptions here when watching video. Now, one thing I will say about this phone is it has a little bit more of an aggressive curve than the one on the S10. What I mean is, it's definitely more noticeable. It's a little bit more aggressive. It's not as, flat, more, squarish, kind of like the Galaxy S10. So you definitely will have accidental presses if you don't put a case on this phone. Other than that, beautiful panel, but you do sacrifice having a pop-up mechanism camera to get that panel. If you don't mind that, you'll love the OnePlus 7 Pro. Now, the strengths over to the Galaxy S10 are that you get a brighter display. This phone just looks brighter to me in daily use than this device. Also, it's about the same in terms of resolution, so it's just as sharp, maybe even sharper with a higher pixels per inch because you're cramming more pixels into a smaller body. In addition, the dynamic AMOLED's vivid mode is just really just beautiful, and natural looks super accurate here for the Galaxy S10. So I would say in terms of quality, they're about the same. S10 maybe being a little bit sharper, but a little bit brighter, but it comes with this obtrusion here where you're gonna go into YouTube and you're gonna see a little cutout in the top left corner. So that can be the deal breaker for some of you. Overall, if I wanted a brighter display, a more compact feel, I would definitely pick the S10. But if I wanted a more all-screen media powerhouse phone, I would definitely pick the OnePlus 7 Pro here. So when it comes to software, it's actually quite simple. Are you somebody who wants a simple experience with just a few customizations? You love pure Android, you just want to customize your phone, then Oxygen OS is for you. This phone is super smooth. The software is almost pixel-like with just a few customizations that make it a little bit better to use, like buttons and gestures. navigation bar, you have multiple different ways to use the navigation. You could use the pixel type, you could use navigation gestures, back and home. Also, if we go into display here, you can go ahead and change your own colors and themes the way you like it here. You can change your accent colors, kind of like Windows. Just a few smart enhancements that make it a little bit better than stock Android for some people, but still very similar to stock. So a very fast, efficient, and probably more frequently updated than Samsung's One UI over here. Now, why I say this is simple is because if you want more features, easily pick the Samsung. All day you're getting more features. As a matter of fact, it's so many features it can become overwhelming sometimes, but that's not a negative thing. If you do like features and you like to get the most out of your phone, I think the Samsung is the easy choice here because it just has more multitasking features, for example, like pop view. For example, you can't do this on the OnePlus 7 Pro. I'm sure you could do it with some third-party app, but not right out of the gate. So definitely, if you want more features, go with the Samsung. If you want a simpler experience with more of a customizable stock Android feel, if you're into that pure Android-like feel, it's easily gonna go to the OnePlus 7 Pro. I think if you want updates a little bit quicker, get the 7 Pro as well. I just see the updates usually come out a little bit more frequently than on the Samsung phone. Okay, so when it comes to performance, pretty much the same. I mean, the Samsung One UI is not as smooth as Oxygen OS with this 90 Hz display. So, you know, visually, the OnePlus 7 Pro is just gonna look faster no matter what you do on it. But the Samsung Galaxy S10 is so snappy that you would be hard pressed to see the differences unless you use a lot of phones and you just kind of can see those things. I think the average consumer would only really see that how much smoother the OnePlus 7 Pro just feels in the day-to-day. So I think if you really care about performance, get the 7 Pro. You'll really love the way this thing performs. Animations are beautiful to look at, has really good Geekbench scores for an Android phone, and just looks very, very fast. Now, the Samsung won't disappoint you, but it's just got choppier looking animations overall, but still very snappy for all the features it does offer. If performance is all you care about, I think the 7 Pro is the better value here. Because it comes with UFS 3.0 storage, it comes with 12 gigabytes of RAM for cheaper than 8 gigabytes of RAM on the S10 as well. Okay, so the OnePlus 7 Pro has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. The Galaxy S10 here has a 3,400 milliamp hour battery, so pretty big difference in the size of the battery on both of these. However, because this has a 90 Hz display, these both get a similar amount of battery life, both around 4.5 to 5 hours screen time. Yes, this gets similar to this in the 90 Hz QHD mode, but if you put this thing into the 1080, the 60 Hz, it will outlast the S10. Now, charging is pretty similar as well. You have both fast charging, but this one has wireless charging. So if you care about, you know, not wanting to plug a wire and you just want to place it down, this is a true flagship here in S10, having wireless charging for 2019. This one does not give you that. However, what it does give you is extremely fast warp charging, and I mean extremely fast. Put this thing down, go get a cup of coffee, go in the kitchen, have some orange juice, have a water, eat a sandwich real quick, come back in 15 minutes. I swear you will be up 20 to 30% battery life like that, maybe even more. Warp charging is very impressive. In terms of actual battery life though, there's not a big deal between both of them. They're both, in my experience, pretty similar, around 4.5 to 5 hours screen time. But the 7 Pro can outlast it if you do lower the 90 Hz down and you lower down the QHD. So for a technically larger battery, probably still a better option is the OnePlus 7 Pro. Okay, so talking about the cameras really quickly, both have triple cameras. The angle is wider. The wide angle camera is wider on the S10. You have a 3x telephoto here for the OnePlus 7 Pro, so it'll get a little bit closer on that telephoto than the 2x telephoto here for the Galaxy S10, but the wide angle camera just looks a little bit better on the S10. Also, I think the shots just turn out a little bit more vibrant for the S10 as well, a little bit cleaner looking. The OnePlus 7 Pro has very natural looking photos, so if you like more of a duller look, you don't really care too much about over vibrancy, you might like the OnePlus 7 Pro a lot. I find the autofocus to be much better on the S10. Just the focusing is on point for the S10 series, but I'm not going to talk too much about these cameras. The front-facing camera also a little bit higher resolution there on the OnePlus 7 Pro at 16 megapixels versus the 10 megapixel here for the S10, which is going to have dual pixel AF and 4K shooting. So the front-facing camera for video definitely better on the S10, and the super steady stabilization on the camera S10. So for me, I'd pick the S10 for the camera all day, but you can go ahead and take a look at these samples I took between both of them to decide which one is going to be the right one for you. Okay, so here is some front-facing video with the Samsung Galaxy S10. You can kind of see how it does perform from the front-facing camera. Let me know your thoughts down below. So here is some front-facing video with the OnePlus 7 Pro. You can kind of get an idea of how it does perform. Audio is coming directly from the phone itself. Okay, so here's the highest resolution video you can get on the S10. It is in 4K 60 FPS, and I am gonna pan just a little bit. It is springtime here, so pretty beautiful. And you can see that's kind of what you can expect. Now let me go ahead and run a little bit so you can kind of see the stabilization. Remember, no super steady here in the regular modes here. So there you go, Galaxy S10. Okay, so here is the highest resolution you can get with the OnePlus 7 Pro. You can see it is springtime, so it is beautiful right now. And I'm gonna go ahead and spin it around, and we're gonna run a little bit to kind of see the stabilization that you do get. This is all handheld. And remember, this is the OnePlus 7 Pro. Let me know your thoughts down below. So when it comes to storage, the OnePlus 7 Pro is the winner, hands down. It gives you more storage, 256 gigabytes at, a cheaper price point. And it gives you UFS 3.0. Now you can argue you have expandable memory on the S10, but at 256 gigabytes, that's more internal storage, which is actually more useful to me because it's usually faster storage than the SD cards. And it's also usually the one that you're gonna put all your apps on. So it's more useful storage than an SD card. So definitely like the 256 gig for cheaper than the 128 gig. I would pick the OnePlus 7 Pro for just having that really fast onboard and twice as much storage as the S10 at the same price. So discussing call quality on both of them, I found them both to be fantastic. However, I think the S10 is a little bit better. Reason being is that the OnePlus 7 Pro, the speakerphone quality wasn't as loud as the S10, and also, talking in the earpiece didn't sound as loud to me either as the S10. Both having Qualcomm modems give them incredible reception, so reception is no issue. They're both good phone call quality and reception, both better than the Intel modem iPhones, but at the same time, between these two, the Samsung was the better option for me for phone call quality. Okay guys, so I forgot a couple things. Bluetooth 5.0 on both have stereo speakers. They're both very loud, so I didn't feel like picking a winner here. They're both very good. Both have Dolby Atmos support, and also you have a headphone jack here for the S10. Don't have that on the OnePlus 7 Pro. IP ratings come to the Galaxy S10, IP68, no IP rating here, although the OnePlus 7 can get a little bit wet. It doesn't really hurt it too much, so I wouldn't be worried about a little rain getting on your display or anything like that. But in a final conclusion, for the price, which one is the better phone? Yes, the S10 is a little bit more, but not too much more than the 7 Pro. And this was a very, very tough decision to make, but I think that it's not really a clear-cut winner, but I would say that for value standpoint, it's the OnePlus 7 Pro. There's no doubt about it. I mean, look at all that display, no obtrusions, beautiful design here, beautiful nebula blue with an almond color coming next month. I mean, it has pretty good cameras, the best OnePlus cameras I've ever seen, and definitely not a reason not to buy the OnePlus anymore. Super silky smooth and a different feel with a 90 hertz display. It just feels different than every smartphone you used before. Yes, it omits wireless charging, but the warp charging is super fast. It also doesn't have headphone jack, but many people have Bluetooth headphones. I just think for the money, 12 gigabytes of RAM, 855, you just can't beat the OnePlus 7 Pro at this price point. But I think at the same time, that's gonna matter to people who really are into tech. I think people that are just an average consumer, the S10 is just still more approachable. It's compact, and I don't think everybody has large hands. It's a light phone here, and I just think it's more familiar. I think a lot of people will like that it's Samsung. It's just probably the safer choice for consumers, but the better value is the OnePlus 7 Pro for sure in my experience so far. Anyway, that's my final take on them. I hope this helped you decide which one you're gonna buy. Just look at what we talked about, see what you resonated with in this video, and then you can easily make your decision. Let us know which one you picked, if you picked one. If you're not buying one of these, but you just have your own opinion, I'd like to hear that as well. Drop it down below. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Nick here, helping you to master your technology. I will catch you all in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to be well, and peace.